Hey everyone, it's a little late, but here's Dawn and Tia again. This is episode 3, week 3 of Mocha Dip. A little bit late today because that was totally on me. Um, yeah, I was writing. I was being a good girl. I was being a good author for once. I was writing, and I looked at the clock, and it was 5 o'clock, and I had to cook some spaghetti noodles. And next thing I knew, I cooked the noodles. It felt like 10, 15 minutes passed. I looked up and it was 6:30, and I still hadn't eaten. So, yeah.
Were your
Little
noodles okay?
Huh?
Were your noodles okay?
Oh yeah, the noodles were fine. The noodles came out perfect.
Okay, but at least you had
They
that going.
didn't cook for that long. It just felt like
Well,
10,
I just
15 minutes.
you might have burned. But you talking
No.
about food traveling was happening and everything. That's a valid question.
Yeah. So, today is the day that I'm excited about because I've been trying to get you to watch that movie for a minute. We are talking about adaptations, and this is personally one of my favorite adaptations. Um, I will preface this. I know about the melodrama that went down with the creator of Kenshin. I do not want to get into it because it is a very political thing.
Oh, I don't know anything about this.
And yeah, it's a political mess. Well, not political, but
You said it's not political, but
yeah, it okay. Okay, okay, I'm gonna let everyone know the situation so this way you don't have to go dig for the situation.
yeah.
But I will also give my thoughts on the situation, and hopefully any comments, any negative non-constructive comments will they'll just be deep sexed. Um the laws in Japan are different than here in the United States. The age of consent when it comes to um certain images was different from years ago. And the creator of Kenshin was found when they raised the age up to 18, I believe, because I think before it was like 13. Anyone under than 13, you could get arrested, but anyone 13 and up was fair game. They raised it up to, I believe, 16 or 18 in some prefectures. And he had older pictures on his computer from when the age limit was 13. So he had like 14, 15-year-olds on his computer. He was arrested. He pled guilty. He served his time in jail. He was let out. Now Kenshin is coming under fire because, well, this person is coming under fire because he was given his job back. And people here in the States are holding him to our statute instead of the statute that is set in Japan. And my belief is that I'm not saying he was right. He was wrong. He knows he was wrong because he pled guilty. He paid his fines. He served his time according to their laws. I cannot hold him accountable for as my laws are saying, because he does not live here. And that's all I'm gonna get on the soapbox about it.
I'm not getting into it at all. I said I'm not getting into it at all.
So yeah, that was the mess that was surrounding Kenshin, the creator of Kenshin. And yeah, I still love the show. I still love the series. I am totally invoking death of the author on this one, whereas once it is out of his hands, it is my consumption. So it is mine to consume. That is the only way I will enjoy it. Now, that being said, I have the first 3 movies. There are 2 more that are coming out this year. Like I had said last week, the first movie was the first season of Wandering Samurai. The second 2 movies was the Kyoto arc of the second season. Excuse me. Now, the third movie is supposed to be the true arc of the manga, where how the manga ends. And that's the 4th movie. And the 5th movie is supposed to be the Samurai X movie where he got the scar. So we find out a little bit more about that. The Trust and Betrayal. You don't remember any of it?
No, I will have nothing to talk about if I start talking now.
Oh. So that is the arcs of the movie, of the different movies. I think you only watched the first one.
Yes, I only watched the first one.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Oh, we're going straight to that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going straight into it. I'm putting you on the spot. What do you think?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you are probably not as attached to the anime as I am.
Absolutely not. I did like it better. Dr. Hiko was less annoying. I do not like little children in anime as a general rule that hang around adults. The reason why is because they just become damsel in distress, so to speak. That's all they do. Spritle, Wooly, all of them. These kids serve no purpose other than to cause trouble. Though he was less annoying than others. If y'all like the little kid that just stirs up stuff and because wacky kooky hijinks with a monkey or something, or with a skateboard, or whatever else they got as their prop, that's cool. I don't like those kids. They're annoying. Those kids, I hate to say it, they're in pretty bad situations that they would probably not have a good turnout, we'll say, in a normal situation. Yes, I know it's an anime, but still, you got these little kids that are just have no sense of preservation or even listening to people with like these dangerous adults. And I think that's silly. I think that's really silly just to have some comic relief. I don't find it funny and it annoys me. Now, did I like hate this show? No, I thought it was well done. The anime I'd seen a couple episodes of, and I actually did enjoy the movie. I did. But I'm not about it. I mean, everybody's got their stuff.
Yeah.
And so I will definitely say that I enjoyed it, and it was a well done adaptation. I would watch other ones. I would. I own the OAVs, what Trust and Betrayal.
Yeah. I think that's all it's called. Is just Samurai X Trust and Betrayal.
Yeah, I own them from VHS things. Like,
yeah,
yes, that's when I was able to buy stuff at the end of VHS life because DVDs were too expensive. You're a college student and it was $60 for a DVD. You're like, no, I don't think so. You're paying what was it, $25 for the dub? And you were already mad about that.
But, 25 for the dub at Suncoast. 3 episodes per VHS if you were collecting a series. And most of the series back then were either 26 to 50 something episodes long.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love it so much. I like it now because and then streaming's even better. It's like
yeah.
I
Yeah,
like.
you don't have to worry about where to put everything.
That's the thing about us coming up when we did. We got to see everything almost,
Yeah.
except like the birth of television and the radio that was already here. But we got to see everything. Woo!
Okay.
So
So
I know you like it, but why?
I enjoy it because they changed enough for the story to make sense,
Yeah,
and they kept so much of the original season.
I actually like Callie better in the live action than I did in the anime. She was just a step above Yakubiko. I'm just saying. She was so damsel in distress.
Yeah,
I thought
because
I
it
liked it much
was
better.
in the anime. She was, like you said, she was very damsel. Um, in the anime, she was very and this is something that we run into as writers. We're told that Kaoru is a powerful character. We're told that she's this strong leader. She's this, she's that.
Who told you
We're
that?
shown
Who told you that?
in the anime.
Oh, uh,
In the anime, she's supposed to be this very strong. She's supposed to be this strong character, and we're shown a bratty girl that really doesn't know how the world works.
very naive. She's over here talking about, our sword style and our dojo, and this is acting school. Talk
Yeah.
about the wood sword talented people. I do applaud her fortitude to standing up for people, because you should stand up for what is right, even though you're probably going to die, especially if you're going here attacking people that you shouldn't. You shouldn't really be concerned about. Okay, that's a little bit. You should stand up for what is right, even at your own personal cost. You should. I did
Mhm.
feel like she was a tad reckless.
They toned that down phenomenally
I
in the
know,
movies.
I know, Yakuhiko too, and he he did not bother me very much. He did not. I cannot stand that kid in Kenshin. He's part of the reason I'm not watching. Actually, both of them are the reasons I'm not watching. That's why I own the OAVs, because they're not in there.
I own all 3 seasons and the OVAs. And I will say that after watching the 3rd season, in my mind, there are only 2 seasons. Because the last arc of Kenshin, in the manga, it got really dark and it went really off the rails of what we were seeing on screen. And that was not written when the anime came out. So it suffered the way Bleach did with the curse of filler seasons.
Yeah.
So the third season of the original Rurouni Kenshin is a filler. It doesn't show how the manga is supposed to end.
It ended filler? That's busted.
Yeah. So, and then also it started going off the rails because it had a whole bunch of stuff with religion, and because of the time period it was in, Christianity was coming into play versus everyone else's beliefs, and it was just all a big cluster. Like, okay, really? This was not Wandering Samurai.
Wow. I'd have to have seen that to know that, but I would imagine that would be a tense topic.
Yeah, like to
That's a
go.
topic most Americans don't want to talk about in general, much less see something in
Yeah,
anime. So whether it was good or not, it was already bad because
yeah,
the people watching it.
and it's like to go from Shishio to nothing. That was, yeah.
Also, the other people at least had nothing to do with it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I was like, okay, so your villains had nothing to do with that last arc at all. uh,
No.
I
They
thought they had
introduced
something to do with it.
because the because of the way the Kyoto arc ended, Shishio was gone, everyone else was dealt with. And there was nothing on the there was nothing on the anime to say, hey, this needs to go on. We didn't know about basically it's been a minute since I've watched Trust and Betrayal. The end of the manga is the wife's brother comes back.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
The wife's younger brother comes back to take revenge on Kenshin.
One there already saw enough for 3 people attempted it. I'm just saying.
And I'm sorry. The younger brother comes back. He sees that Kenshin is living his life with Kaoru and that Kenshin is happy. And so he attacks Kaoru, beats her up, but also I think he like drugs her and makes Kenshin think that she's dead. And Kenshin just checks out.
That's not being over the top, but being justified, right? Okay.
Yeah. So Kenshin like totally checks out.
It sounds like a good idea, but it's wrong. It just makes you look bad.
And so the manga ends with dealing with him, and then Kenshin, like in the OVAs, he goes off, he ends up contracting, I forget what he got.
Oh, maybe tuberculosis? I don't know.
Yes.
Ha! Because something
Yes.
was bad back in the day.
Cool. He got tuberculosis. He came home. Kaoru, he was trying to stay away from Kaoru.
Mm-hmm.
She went to him. She also contracted it.
Ooh.
And they ended up dying together. Yeah.
Again,
but hopefully they
won't be reading.
Hopefully they won't go that deep into these 2 last movies. I don't know. They may not. They have gone. They did, like I said, they changed enough to make sense. The cop Saito.
Yeah. You got a heart for him?
Look, him and Kenshin. I'm like, look, all of those dudes, all of the entire cast except for Yahiko because he's too young, but the entire why? What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
They all looked good. I will say the cast that they picked was phenomenal.
Yes.
They each fit the role very well.
I thought, what was it? Karyu? He was kind of weird looking. I'm just saying. He gave that skunky drug dealer vibe. He did. With his little weird bubble pipe. He gave off drug dealer vibes so bad.
No, the thing that killed me though was that when he was doing like the eeny meeny miny mo, and he's sitting there looking at Megumi and he's like, you.
Yes, he was like, right? And the other guy was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, dude, you lost. First, I thought it was a brothel situation, and I was just like, he acts like a drug dealer or something, and maybe his drug of choice is being a brothel. I just knew there was crime happening. Then it was she was the druggist. I was like, okay, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I had lowered my expectations because I figured what kind of time period this was. I just knew she was a madam. I just knew this. So he said you drive all the men crazy. So I just knew. I was like, okay, she's a madam. Because she was too plain. She was kind of plain looking to be into prostitution. So I was like, you're a madam girl. You teaching all the girls. What? Was this how we rolling?
Nope. She's the one that.
But you know what dude's mistake was? He put the chemist in there with the people so that she could see the effects. She would have continued to make all his drugs, all he wanted, and made him even more and more and more powerful. Probably would have given him every different color in the world and everything. If he hadn't opened her eyes to reality.
Yeah.
That dude with the bars, just banging his head and trying to get more, got blood coming out. I was like, oh, this is just say no, people. Just say no. Just say no. I know you can't because you're addicted now. And then the people who just laying in their own waste and flies on them, but they're happy because they got their pipe. Oh, like that's terrible.
That's never a state that you want to be in.
That's very well. You didn't care at that point. It's very real and very terrible. I was actually a little disturbed by that. I ain't mad at you, girl. I see why you took off.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting how this whole movie was. I did like it. I watched it today. I just wasn't super excited about it. I don't know why. Just wasn't. Didn't hate it. Definitely didn't hate it. So it wasn't like I wasted my time because I bought this. I didn't rent it. I bought it. So I felt like I wasn't going to regret it, and I didn't regret it. I just wasn't so enamored like I sometimes am, where I feel like I got to binge. That didn't happen to me, and that's okay. Because it's okay to just sometimes like stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need to obsess about everything anyway. So
I obsess about stuff enough.
Well, you don't live with me, so I'm just right here thinking. I can see. I was a little bit. I will say this. I watched a countdown on, strangely enough, anime adaptations. It seemed like it's mysteriously sprouted up after you and I decided to dedicate a couple episodes to it, and this was listed as the #1 for the best adaptation ever. And I was sitting here thinking, it is a very good adaptation, but I kind of feel like it doesn't quite deserve #1 when it's basically a historical. And the reason why I say that is because other anime adaptations had to cope with fantastical experiences that don't happen in regular life. Rurouni Kenshin's pretty much did happen. I'm just saying. So you get #1 credit for adapting real life?
Yes.
No.
I'm giving it to them.
No. No. I do believe it needed to go on the list, but I felt like giving it #1 was too easy. It's just like if someone made an anime about Japan in general.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that hard? Were you challenging yourself right then? That's the only thing I would have to say. I'm not saying it's not good, y'all. Don't come at me or anything. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying it isn't well done. I'm just saying that in comparison to other anime adaptations, I don't feel like it deserved #1 unopposed the way I saw on some places.
That's because a lot of other ones, it's just really bad. Here's looking at you, Death Note.
Okay, so then you get the only reason why it's #1 is because there's not that many good ones out there.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, see.
I mean, it didn't even have effects.
It had well, yeah, no, it was mostly stunt work.
Yeah, I'm not saying the stunt work wasn't good. It was awesome, especially when he was at the end when he was going. I was like, go ahead. That is an unrealistic jump, but I like it. I love that wire work. That was good times. I enjoyed that final fight with what was it? I don't know how to say his name. Jinin? How do you say his name?
Yeah, Jinin.
Oh, it is Jinin.
Mhm.
That final fight with Jinin and Jinin. Well, I'm sorry. Statute of limitations on that one movie that's almost 10 years old. He killed himself in order to be like, I want to look at you upon from hell. I'm like, absolutely not, dude. Never. I will keep trying to kill you before I kill myself so I can say, ha 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 ha, I won. What?
Yeah, that was, and that's pretty much what happened in the anime too.
And I was thinking that he sucked as a villain just in general for doing that. Keep trying
Oh,
to keep trying to win.
Janae.
Janae.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that final fight. That was awesome. I did like his power of fear. That made me think of like hockey from One Piece. I was like, oh, I love this. He's gonna stare at Kaoru. His eyes gonna get all black. His sclera is black and everything, and he scares her into submission. She's already tied up,
Yeah.
and then he's choking her just by looking at her. He didn't do the like Darth Vader or anything. It was strictly I'm staring at you now. That's part of my sword style. That I'm so confident that I scare you into just standing there as I just literally slit your throat. The dude, he literally stared at me in the police precinct. And he goes in there, he's just like, this is part of my style. And I forgot what he called it. And he walked up to him, you are so scared of me right now. I'm just going to stand here and just do this. And you're not going to fight me. And that's what he did. I was like, that's busted. Can that happen? I guess. If you want to deer headlights people. But still, I think I'd be running.
Okay.
Ah!
Now I will say this. The first movie is great. The second two movies, well, the second movie I adore because the Shishio arc, I will say this. I can't sit down and watch just the first movie. I have to sit back and make sure my day is clear because I'm going to watch all three movies.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay.
Because the first movie, great lead in. The second two movies, those that tells one continuous story.
Okay.
So
okay.
So if you're gonna go into movie two, if you're gonna get movie two, get movie three at the same time. So this way you could just start them right after the other.
See,
because both
what happened with movie one. I thought it was going to be like that. So when I came to a natural close, I was like, huh.
Yeah, because see, the only like echoes from the first one that you see, excuse me, I'm starting to catch some sort of a cough or whatever. But the only echoes from the first one you see is a couple of the guys that were in the villain's house. They were running with Aoshi Shinomori.
Was it on the mask through the firebrand?
Yes.
I figured it was him.
Him and a couple of other ones.
We're in this together.
Yeah. They ran with Aoshi. And now he's following Kenshin around. He's looking for Kenshin. And so that's pretty much the only throwback to that first one, that first movie that you see from here on out. Next time you see, it's like, okay, Aoshi, he's one of my favorite characters in the anime because he's a tortured soul, tall, dark hair, has two swords. I'm just saying. Yeah. At least he's not a blonde. But Yeah, my types are usually the blonde anime boys. But anyways, he comes in as like a filler character. Um we see Kenshin going off trying to figure out what is the deal with everything going on with Shishio. The government comes to him and they're like, okay, we screwed up. We need you to handle this. Because when you walked away, when you said you gave up being the manslayer, we promoted another person to the role of manslayer. And he started going kind of crazy. So we tried to kill him. And it didn't work. And so now he's back. So by the end of my favorite fight throughout all three movies is at the end of the third movie, there is a 4-way fight.
Oh.
Well, a 5-way fight.
Oh.
Kenshin.
Okay.
Sanosuke.
Okay.
Saito. And Aoshi.
Okay.
Versus Shishio.
Ooh. Yeah.
I love the way that they choreographed this. It was beautiful. There are videos on YouTube where it is just this fight.
I feel like that would need to be its own video. I was thinking to myself, I probably can look on YouTube to see this fight.
You can. And it's like, you see that Shishio was not anything to mess with. And it's one of those things where it's like, I enjoy Kenshin because you see that he stuck to his morals. Yes. He decided he wasn't going to kill anymore. And that was his staple. That is what he held on to.
He did. It looked bad.
Yeah. Even when it looked totally horrible, he still held on to his morals.
I would say that in all the times that he did the glowy eye thing in the anime was probably because someone he cared about was in
danger. The only time that I can think of where he went and he got his Batosai eyes, the only time that I remember that happening and one of his loved ones was not in immediate danger was that first fight between him and Saito.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one animated was way better than the live action one. Because in the movie, Saito comes in season 2 in the anime. Whereas in the movie series, he's been there since the beginning.
Right. And that confused me because I was like, what's that?
Yeah, so again, as soon as I saw him, I'm like, what is he doing here? He's not supposed to be here yet.
Well,
I
like the way they did it.
Yeah, the way they did it made sense. The way they did it in the anime also made sense. Whereas Saito showed up, he busted up Sanosuke, basically was like, yeah, I'm better than you too, so sit down, young pup. We didn't have nearly as much, and because of time constraints, and because it was an adaptation and not a total remake of the the manga or the anime series, we didn't get into all of the drama following Sanosuke and the band that he was and the group that he was with, and we didn't see all of the fallout with Megumi No, she was pretty much done with the whole drug cartel thing. Um yeah, then it was like everything pointed to Shishio. We don't get to see all of the stuff going on with Aoshi. That is pretty much my only letdown. Because he had a lot of stuff to unpack as a character, and they just had him. He's the only one that's there just to be pretty. Yeah, he. I'm not gonna lie, he was the only one there just to be pretty. So, meanwhile, everyone else served an actual purpose.
So, were all these movies 2 hours?
About that long, yeah.
Okay, well, I think they used their time well. I do. They did. They used their time well from what I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, even though there is not a lot of special effects,
It doesn't need.
even though it doesn't have a lot of CGI and whatnot in comparison to others. Here's looking at you, Bleach and Full Metal.
You're trying to compare two things that don't matter, that don't not anything alike. There is no CGI in regular life. And there's no one with, as much as we like to go with, there's no one exhibiting powers of like fire and magic in real life. Or if they are, they're not doing it in a way that you can see it.
Yeah.
You cannot see energy blasts or anything like that. So there's no reason for CGI.
Yeah, but I will say that
I'm serious. You're literally talking about a historical versus magic.
yeah.
That's not the same box. Explain that to all the historical authors. Yes, we were in the same range as the paranormal people. And see what happens.
Listen, don't start none, won't be none.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, it's that I was saying, like, even though it does not have those things, I still like this as one of the best adaptations that has come out of cinema for any sort of anime.
Okay. Well, for now, anyway.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them all.
I haven't seen them all, but Kenshin puts that bar up high.
I don't see how, but okay.
Kenshin and then Bleach. Those are my top two.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Those are my top two adaptations.
I can see that because you didn't even like Full Metal Alchemist. So
yeah. One thing that would be interesting is that I hear well, I saw a couple of shots way back when, before the pandemic happened, of the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Really? You actually saw screenshots?
Well, I saw a couple of set shots. John Cho was looking very Spike.
Okay.
I am
looking forward to that, and see, and I hope it turns out well.
So my only thing is, I'm willing to give him a chance.
Are you worried about Ed? I'm worried about Ed. That's the beginning of going wrong.
Yeah.
That girl.
I just want to see how John Cho falls out of church window. I'm just saying.
That's easy. That's like a John Woo movie. I ain't worried about none of them people but Ed, and I'm telling you why. Because she is weird as crap. She looks weird, and she is weird. Edward Howe Kalu Tavruski the Fourth.
Wow, you don't even remember your whole name?
I can't.
Edward Wong Howe Pepalu Travuski the Fourth.
Isn't that what I just said?
No,
What I miss?
you missed the Wong
I thought I
and the
said Edward Wong.
how. You missed the how.
We'll have to watch the tape back on that. I thought I said that. I was
You
thinking,
missed part of it.
even more names.
You missed part of it.
I don't think so. I'll have to go
I
back.
think so.
I think maybe I probably was not. I might have not enunciated well, but I actually said all those names. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, that girl is so odd. And she took the series from, she just took the series of different energy, even in the anime. So I feel as though that they have to be very careful with her scenes and with her character in general to keep it from being weird. If they're
In a
not,
bad way.
yeah, in a bad way. If they're not careful, that'll just go boom. The whole house of cards will fall. Because it's easy to have the sexy maven. That's easy. The Papa Bear type, and then the I'm too cool for school person, and then of course the villains are easy. But the weird kid that's a hacker, really?
Yeah, and there's another live adaptation that is supposed to be in the works
Come on, One Piece.
that makes me really nervous.
Is it One Piece? Because that makes
yes,
me,
it is One Piece.
One Piece makes me nervous.
One Piece makes me very, very nervous.
Yes. Luffy. I love you, Luffy, but you're doofy.
And you know they're not going to want to make him as doofy.
I love your direction song. That song was so awesome. It was just, I can't even sing that song. It was just, all you can do when you hear that song is like, I don't know whether to be scared or just think it's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard that song?
I don't remember.
Well, I will send you the link. You're going to be like, I am unsure.
Most of the time when it comes to Luffy, I'm like,
question mark. Yes, that's how I was looking. That's his Baka song.
That I remember hearing.
Yeah, I said direction. It's the Baka song.
Okay, yeah.
He was talking about, in my mind, I remember he was talking about the different directions. He was like, in the South, they do something else because they're dumb. Then they do something in the East because they're dumb. You know, what? Girl, and that sound like it sound like an old lady that's a ghost singing Inca music. It was kind of awesome, kind of like, what? It was definitely amusing to me. I think I laughed a very long time.
Okay.
But again, how in the world is that going to be an animated episode? You got a rubber man. And then the art.
Okay, they have him
Frank.
that ate the gummy fruit, the gum fruit.
Frankie.
What about everybody else that ate all of them other fruits?
Frankie scares me. He walks around in his underwear. Frankie scares me. Because it's one thing, it's already kind of tricky in anime, the dude walking around in his underwear. Them tight, speedo, tighty whiteys, except for that he has all the colors. Okay? He walks around like that in a Hawaiian shirt sometimes, and sometimes it's open, sometimes it's not. He also is always, he's like part human because he's always improving upon himself. I'm just saying. And then that whole Coca-Cola thing, though you can't say Coca-Cola, they just say cola.
And then there's my favorite, Tony Choppa.
He's gonna be CGI. You know that.
Yeah, they're gonna Rocket Raccoon him.
Yes. He's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about him at all. I'm worried about stuff that doesn't translate into reality very well. We see lots of animals. We see lots of animals talking in film, so that's not going to be weird for us. Nami and Robin are they're pretty regular, and so is Sanji. And I would love to see that 3 style sword. That's going to be hilarious. That's going to be a little janky too, because you're going to pay somebody to put a
Yeah.
sword in your teeth, and then you fight it. You're going
And
to
them
have to see
things is
that.
heavy. Those are heavy.
That's what I'm saying.
Those are heavy. So yeah.
That's going to be tough. I don't know if it's going to be as tough as just trying to make Frankie. I mean, even if Frankie doesn't say anything and do all this mess that he does, he's either going to be totally CGI, which I think would be cheesy if they did that, or, I mean, super. I mean, that's what he does. He just was sitting there talking super. And then he walks around in his underwear. So they call him a perv, and they were like, "Oh, what does that mean?" And then they see him, and you're like, "Okay, he's walking around his underwear." Yeah, girl. Because I thought it was just swimsuit.
Yeah.
This is underwear.
Oops.
They said they talking about a pervy guy that works in the shipyard. Well, I found that a little hilarious unto myself, but yeah, that's what they like saying about him. And then you see him, and you're like, "Oh, what?" But you kind of move on because it looks so much like Speedos that and stuff. But yeah, they be walking around with
You forget,
no
yeah.
pants. Never no pants.
And I didn't I heard about them trying to do a Naruto live action, but that was just something that was put in the ether. Like, hey, they may want to do it, the people may want to do it.
I think they could do that without a problem.
I'm thinking that if they can pull off Bleach the way they did, they can pull off Naruto.
Yeah. I think One Piece is more of a stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw what you did there. And I find it funny that Bleach even got an adaptation because Kubo, the creator of Bleach, he flat out said, at one point he flat out said, I do not think Bleach will ever. I will never okay a live action Bleach because he was saying that he wouldn't okay it because the CGI effects of the time weren't good enough. And I think that was a question that was asked when Bleach was maybe 3-4 years old. But that was something that was heavily brought up and heavily like, what do you say now, Tai Tai?
Is that how they said
it? It was actually probably more along the lines of, Kubo-san, please explain.
Oh, I'm trying to get myself together.
You okay?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm able to talk, so there's that.
Okay.
Some of that tea did go down the wrong fight.
But yeah, Kubo did say that he never thought that Bleach would be able to get a live action adaptation because at the time the CGI was not good enough. And then Marvel movies happened, and I guess he changed his mind.
That elevated it all.
Yeah. All righty. So we are at 50 minutes. Are you sure you're okay?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any book tea that you wanted to spill this week, or should we just wrap up here and worry about next week off camera?
I don't have any book tea this time. And then I'm coughing anyway, so
Yeah. The book tea of this week is that that TB has almost choked on said tea.
there you go. I choked on it.
Alrighty. So we will take a second, like, comment, subscribe. Keep your eyes out. We will be back next week with
Hopefully.
another episode. We don't know what we're going to be talking about then. At this point in time, we have no clue what we're talking about. So, I don't know. I just don't know.
I'm sure we'll come up with something.
Yeah, we will come up with something. It will be entertaining because, yeah. Anyways, so we will see you then. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hopefully I'll remember to eat beforehand. So we will be at 7 p.m. Eastern.
There you go.
So we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.